is a hell of a lot thicker than it looked on Google Earth. Well, I'm sure we've all been here before. It's my first time in this forest, and I did a bit of e-scouting from home and came up with this great plan. I was going to get here in the dark and climb down into a gully just so that I could glass over to the other side. But even though when I got here it was dark, I could still see it was way too thick and it was never going to work. Luckily I had a second spot not too far away, and I've started heading to that one now, and it's looking heaps better. There's no shortage of pig sign in this forest, but unfortunately pigs are off the cards. I got a text from the DPI saying that they're going to be dropping aerial 1080 while I'm here, so I don't know whether that's before now or after, but it's not worth risking eating a pig and getting a dose of 1080. I've just come over that hill that was looking really open and promising, and it's straight back to this. It's all this super dense, gnarly stuff that you cannot see anything through. So what I've picked up on is that in this forest, all the gullies are running from east to west, and on those gullies, the northern facing slopes are way more open, and all the southern slopes seem to be like this. So I think what I'm going to do is try just staying maybe at the top of the gully, hopping over and just scouting out those nice open northern facing slopes. That's the new plan. Oh my God, I just snuck up on these pigs. I didn't even realize they were there. There was a sow with at least one piglet, and I only noticed them when I was about 5 meters away from the piglet and maybe 10 away from the mum. And I sat there as still as I could and I tried to line up a shot, but it just shows how thick this place is. At 10 meters away from the sow, I couldn't get a shot. And then before I knew it, they caught scent of me. Obviously, I was standing pretty much on top of them and they made a bolt for it and just didn't get the shot. But that's all right because I couldn't eat them anyway. Yes. Oh. How good's that? The track. Now that I've finally made it back to the track, I'm going to walk along to the other side of this creek where hopefully that face will be a lot more open, and if I'm lucky I might be able to see a deer before it sees me. Okay, finally onto some pretty nice country, so time to take it nice and slow and see what's around. Really interesting to see that it's every single gully is the same like this. One side ferns and longer grass and just all around thicker. Not this part's not as thick as the last part, but still that side is considerably thicker than this side. And there's no openings on the other side. All like that. Somehow, this forest is simultaneously both the thickest forest and yet the most open forest I've ever visited. Wow, if this is what I think it is, it's pretty cool. I've never seen one before, but I think that this might be a blue staining bolete. I'm pretty sure they're edible, but this one's a bit old and I probably wouldn't go testing it out here. But if I break it open, see that? See it's staining blue? It's pretty cool. Well, looks like that's a wrap for today. Unfortunately, I didn't get to glass the spot that I have lined up for tomorrow morning, but that's alright, I'll just go in blind like I normally do. And you wouldn't believe it, I packed some marinated goat ribs that I was going to cook over the fire tonight, and I've gone to get them out and get a fire going, but I've left my lighter at home, so looks like apples for dinner. Okay, so back on the grind this morning. I've already packed up my camp, loaded it into my car, and I've driven around to the other side of that massive gully I want to glass. Now I guess all that's left to do is see if there was anything to actually glass. God, I love walking on a track. It's that much easier. What really confuses me about this forest is that there's so much green feed everywhere, but like hardly any game in comparison to forests I've been to where it seems like there's no food at all. There's food and there's water. The only connection I think I can make is that I heard someone say that most game animals don't actually like long grass, they like fresh green pick. And even though there's unlimited grass here, none of it is fresh green pick. So I guess I'll have to keep looking, maybe down in the gullies, like right down the bottom of these huge gullies that are here, but I don't have time to do that this trip. That'll be a special trip just for that one, I reckon. Looks like it will be quite the mission.